Last week's K-Series teardown was just way too easy. And the week before that, I pulled that BMW N63 V8 apart. And I'm not going to call that too difficult, but significantly more difficult than the K-Series. So today, I'm going to punish myself again. I think I'm going to alternate every other week with an easy and hard engine. And we're going to pull apart this Mercedes OM642. This is a 3-liter dual overhead cam turbodiesel V6. Comes in 2007 and later Mercedes V6 diesel offerings here in the States. I know it comes in all kinds of other stuff in Europe. It also comes in Grand Cherokees. The Sprinter vans have a variant of this engine, and even the Chrysler 300C in other parts of the world has this engine in it, which is kind of fascinating to me. This particular engine is from a 13 to 15 Mercedes ML350. It makes 240 horsepower, 455 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty on par with the EcoDiesel Dodge Ram. I don't have a lot of experience working on these engines, I'll be honest. I've pulled the fuel injection pumps from them, the injectors from them, but beyond that, everything else is going to be a learning experience. I don't know what kind of fasteners they have. I don't know how difficult this is going to be, but there are a lot of parts on this engine. The good news is a lot of this engine is worth a lot of money. And I didn't pay a lot for this core. I'm really hoping that most of this engine does not end up in the scrap bin. Totally shameless plug, but I'm going to do it anyway. I've got 2 of these in stock, actually. If you're looking for an OM642, if you're looking for one of these V6 diesel engines for your Mercedes, I've got one with 148,000 miles, one with 136,000 miles. They both run flawlessly. I have run videos on both of them. They both come with a 60-day warranty. If you'd like any other parts off of these MLs, shoot me an email. I'm going to leave my email in the video description, and I'll make sure that the price is right. A couple things I noted looking this engine over is it does have heat tabs glued to it. When the engine gets too hot, I think it's 250 degrees, the center of these will melt out, and that's kind of proof for whoever sells this engine that this engine's been overheated. This engine clearly came from a salvage yard. It was installed. I don't know what is wrong with it. I didn't get a story with this. I don't know how many miles are on it. All I know is we're going to take the entire thing apart. It is unfortunately missing the turbo, which is located in this area here. It's kind of an expensive piece. I think they're worth like $500 or $600. But the rest of the engine's worth a bunch of money. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some of the loose parts off of it. I've got a wire harness here, which I don't know if it's actually loose. We're going to find out. Looks like a charge pipe. Stuff's falling. Well, that was much simpler than the Mercedes or the BMW V8. And the harness is off. And then this looks like a charge pipe. And we've got thermostat, fuel rails, another fuel rail. Cool. So a bunch of the work has already been done. First things first, we're going to pull the fuel injection pump off of this engine, and then the intake pipe with the, this is not really a throttle body, I think it just chokes the engine, and looks like it's got some EGR stuff underneath it. So we're going to go ahead and get this off first. There we go. Wow. Well, if that's any indicator of what we're going to find inside this engine, oh my gosh. It's like pudding in there. This is just impressive in here. There's like chunky, it's like chunky sludge pudding. Yuck. Boy, this is going to be a messy teardown. I can just see it. All right, let's continue on continuing. Wow, they put a heat tab on the EGR pipe. It's interesting. If you look at the intake pipes, look how carboned up these are. I guess this is probably normal for an emissions diesel, but it's still astounding to see. I mean, this is pretty bad. I can see why they didn't want to use this engine. Here is the intake tract before the EGR. And here is the intake tract after the EGR. And yuck. All right, let's try to get the injectors out of this side of the engine. Hopefully these don't fight me too hard. That one wasn't too bad. And the tips are not smashed, so that's good. Nice and easy. Whoa. The injectors all came out really nice. I think they've been out before. But more importantly, all of the tips are in good shape. When these diesel engines, when they spin a rod bearing, it allows the piston to come up and travel too far and make contact with the cylinder head. And these injectors they protrude beyond the surface of the cylinder head, and that piston will make contact with them and smash the tips. I've seen that on the CRD Liberties many, many times. The next thing I'm going to do is take the dipstick out, and that's going to most likely require me to take this exhaust manifold off. But let's try without first. Just enough room. Next, we're going to pull the EGR valve and this pipe. We're doing all this so we can get the driver's side valve cover off. Oh, that is really on there. Finally got it to move. For the record, I really don't like prying on stuff like this, but I don't see much of a choice. There we go. It's a very tight fit. Now it's time to pull the driver's side valve cover, and let's just see how bad this is. Wow, that's impressive. I think this was like a record to see how far you can go on one oil change. Look at all that pudding. And it's also interesting that the valve cover has the cam caps in there, and there is some damage. I wonder why. This is just, I mean, I don't know. Not the ideal consistency for pudding, but getting there. It's a little dark for my liking, you know. Did you know this engine has followers? I didn't, because I can't see them. All I see is the abyss. This poor tortured engine. Oh, here, let's go ahead and get the exhaust manifold off. Next, we're going to pull the fuel and water separator out, which is apparently already unbolted. Still got fuel in it. I can feel it, hear it. I can see the Egr Cooler now. I'm going to start just zipping bolts out of it till stuff comes off. I think it's a good plan. Well, that's broken. Some sort of actuator. I don't even know what this does yet. Let's get the turbo pedestal and oil drain block out of the way. That's this thing right here. So this actuator that's broken, and I'm not quite sure how it's broken, if something got set on it. This moved these flaps that are on the intake manifolds, and I'm not quite sure what they do, I'll be honest. But the flaps, I'm pretty sure are supposed to move smoothly, and these do not. They're kind of, they take a little bit of force, they have some resistance to them. So we're going to try to pop these out of here so we can get this actuator out of the way. Don't know if that works that way or not. It does work that way. There we go. We're going to go ahead and unbolt these intake manifolds and see if we can pull this out in one unit. I think that's how it comes apart. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. See if this seems loose at all. I doubt it. Oh, it moves. Oh man, this is easier than I thought. Still has to come off. So I think I'm missing a bolt over here. I think these bolts, this housing, come out and they go all the way through. I was correct, at least that one did. Oh, I think it just comes out like this. All haphazardly. There are those flaps. And they move pretty smoothly, at least on this side. They're really carboned up. Let's get this one out with the Egr Cooler. Look how bad that is carboned up. I mean, let's try to move these and see how that feels. This is so carboned up that I can't even turn the flappers. They're permanently in an open position. It's this one here that's stuck, just judging by what I can move and what I can't move. I mean, it is so thick right here. It's terrible. This is awful. Sadly, this is what emissions equipment does to diesels. So this is how it's supposed to move. And that's still pretty carboned up, but it moves freely. On this side, I can't even budge it at all. It's lock solid. I'm sure this one ran great. Here's what the Egr Cooler looks like. As you can see, the worst carboned intake manifold is the one closest to the Egr Cooler. And we're not going to use a screwdriver for that. Who eats pudding with a screwdriver? Use a spoon. Works way better. All right, before I pull the passenger valve cover, I need to pull the vacuum pump. All right, time for the passenger side valve cover. Whew. Yummy. I think this engine is sponsored by Snack Packs. Let's go ahead and get this exhaust manifold off. Let's go ahead and get some stuff off the front of this engine if we can. Oh boy, look at that. It does have oil in it. Oh, it's got some other stuff in there too. Some foreign material. I just took off the oil filter housing. That's where all of this is coming from. Yikes. While we're here, we might as well get the water pump off. Yeah, it came off pretty normal. I learned a few things in the last Mercedes engine I tore down, and here are pins, and these hold the chain guides. 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if there's another one over here. So I'm going to try to use a slide hammer to get these out. I don't know how successful I'll be. Worst case, I'll go ahead and cut the timing chain, but I don't really want to do that if I can avoid it. There's one. There's 2. And here's the last one. There we go. go ahead and get the timing chain tensioner out. Get this off. Let's see if we can get the crank pulley bolt out. I don't even know if I'm going the right way. Well, it moves, but I need more. Let's get the big boy. Wow, this doesn't even phase it. Just laughing at it. I have the stand being held down by my forklift because this is the tightest crank bolt in the universe. I really don't want to flip this engine over. Oh my God. Oh, it's moving. Oh, wow. Oh. That was ridiculous. All right, see if this just comes off. Huh. Huh. Boy, that would be crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna even be able to get this off. Oh yeah. I didn't need that. Good Lord. That is heavy. Look at that thing. There we are. Well, not that that saga is done. We can start peeling this timing cover off. Now we're going to pull all the timing cover bolts out. Are there more? There's more. Should have known better. I think that's it. I've said that before. Yeah, that's it. Mother of God. That's not clear coat, folks. That sheen you're seeing, that's sludge. This is heavy. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. Oh no, that's a solid. I thought that was a liquid. That's a solid. It has been a long time since I have seen an engine where a spoon is the best tool for cleaning up sludge. I mean, this is... This is wild. Change your oil, folks. At least more than once. This is going to be the messiest teardown in history, I think. This stuff is so dirty, I can't even put it in my parts washer. I wish I could tell you what the timing system looked like, but I can't even see if it's in good shape because of the amount of... Wow, that's a huge piece. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, I wish I hadn't done that. So yeah, we're going to try to get some more tension off the chain so I can get the chain off the cam gears so I can pull the cams out and then get the heads out of this. Normally I'm pretty good about figuring out what size the fasteners are, but I've had to guess like 4 different sizes because I cannot tell. That's not even a bolt there. Oh, I got another pin right there I got to take out. I don't think there's any more. I think that's the last of them. Okay, now I think I've got all the timing components loose. That one's kind of out. I really want to know how this comes out. Oh, this is definitely the dirtiest teardown I've done in a while. Well, I cut the chain with some bolt cutters. That was clearly easier. Now I can get the chain out. I got another chain to cut. Let me cut that oil pump chain. I'm just going to cut everything. Cut it all. And don't make fun of my bolt cutters. My grandpa gave me these, and they're probably older than he was. But they work. There we go. There, we got that off. So it looks like the chain, ooh, there's a chain guide out. It looks oily. There's another chain guide. All right, so the chain does not want to come out at all. So we're just gonna kind of like let it hang out over the top here and then try to get the cams out. Boy, this is getting ugly. All right, now let's see if we can get the cams out. Since the cam caps are the valve covers, I'm not quite sure how these... Oh, I see, there's a keeper here at the end. I couldn't even see that. It's hiding. Let's see what kind of tooling it takes. I'm guessing not that size. I'll get down there eventually. Oh, it's got this J-hook piece. That's interesting. Oh wait, there's another. There's more of them. It's so hard to see. Well, that makes sense. Retaining, well, the cam caps where there's journals are the valve cover. And then there's these keepers, which I guess keep the cams in place when you're working on it with the valve covers off. There's one cam. There's two. Now we can slide this chain remnant. I can't even see the head bolts. I don't even know what the head bolts are. But I think I can get this tensioner out now, or the guide, and there we go. There's driver side chain rail and guide. We are making progress, albeit I feel like I could use a shower right about now. All right, let's do the same thing on this head. That one. There's one cam. There's the other. Wow. Head bolts. Oh, I've located a head bolt. We're just gonna dig out all the head bolts here, best that we can. I really wonder if this thing ever had the oil changed. I mean, this came out of a 2013 to 15, so it's not even that old. Kind of clear up some I don't want to strip a head bolt out. Get a couple of the small head bolts out. I think there's one down there. Let me get a screwdriver and find out. Can't see through the jelly, but there's a bolt. All right, let's get the head bolts out and get the head off. It's just laughing at it. Yeah, it's like I don't have enough air. For whatever reason, half-inch impact wouldn't do it, so here's 3/4. What is going on with my air today? Well, unfortunately, guys, I have an issue with my air compressor, and I actually think it's an issue with one of the three-phase legs at the shop, because none of my other three-phase things are working. My compressor, my exhaust fans, everything's dead in the water. I got 80 PSI in the air system. That's not right. So we're going to have to use an electric impact on this, and I'm kind of bummed about that because you guys don't get the cool noises. But I got to get this engine apart. Man, these things are tight. Man, these things are tight. Oh, the sounds. All right, off comes the head. Maybe. I don't know how these engines are. We can have to tip over. Nope. Oh, this is so fun. Let go. Well, all the cylinder walls look nice. I don't see any damage from the pistons. I don't think these pistons made contact with the head. They don't move at all. I think we're okay there. Let's get the other head off. The cylinder head also looks very nice. I don't see any issues except for the fact that it's probably an extra 20 pounds of sludge. All right, let's go ahead and get this head off. This head off. Man, head gaskets are jerks. Well, I don't think this is working here. Yep, that's locked up solid. Now we're gonna turn this thing upside down and pull the pan. And I'm not looking forward to this. So if it's been this messy with the engine upright, how messy is it gonna be upside down? We will see. Oh, I just heard something move inside the engine that did not sound good. There are also clumps of oil falling out. Clumps. Never had that happen before. Something interesting, this engine has this kind of, I'm going to call this a diaper. I know this is not for stopping oil leaks. It's probably for acoustic reasons to keep the engine quiet. But that's just, why? Does it really make that much of a difference? Is anyone taking these off and listen to it without? Is it really that much louder? Let's go ahead and pull this small pan off, and then we'll get the other pan off. Wow. Well, I don't see any identifiable chunks of stuff in there. All right, let's start buzzing some bolts out of the upper pan. And it's like a quart of oil right there by itself. Just trying to find more bolts. That's all I want, is to see the rest of the bolts. I know there's more bolts in here. I just cannot see them. Oh, there's one. There's two. All right, I think I've got all the bolts out of the pan, but I don't know. This could be, I can't even see what I'm doing working on this thing. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. Can't tell anything. All right, see if we can get this off now. I'm pretty sure I got all the bolts out, but not positive. There's no more bolts to get out of this. At least I don't think there are. Ah. Wow, this is gonna be gross. Oh my gosh. And that's the oil pump, pretty sure, because that's got a gear on it. There's the pickup. But the rest of this is, I think I see some more bolts. Yeah, there's some bolts in this vicinity. I'm just going to use, like, guessing. My extremely good guessing skills to figure out where the bolts are and what size they are. Well, so far so good. Okay, I think I'm in no man's land over here. Let's just start prying on stuff, because I can't even tell what I'm looking at here. Oh, there's a bolt right there. Let's get that pudding pickup tube out of the way. Oh, I don't even want to grab this, but I'm gonna. It's a little more identifiable now. I don't know what to do with this. What do I do with this? I'm gonna throw that there. And yep, I'm just letting bolts fall because I just don't know what else to do at this point. Let's verify this. Yep. Like I suspected. I don't want that anyway. There's something in this area. This oil pump is... Wow. Okay, I think we're ready to pull some rods and pistons out. I think. Before I get the rods and pistons out, I'm actually going to crack the main caps loose and hope I can spin this over so I have access to all of the bolts. What I should do, I should give this a little rinse here. There we go. Now we can kind of see what we're doing here. No, that did not help at all. Let's get the side bolts loose here. I watched all of these mains move, which is not a good sign. Oh, I broke my bit. I got all the mains loosened up and I can turn it over now. So it's definitely gonna have some bearing damage. There's no doubt about that. Let's start to get some rods and pistons out of it. I'm gonna do this the least logical way possible because that's just... Yep, that bearing's torn up. Well, that was dumb. All right. Get 2 more out. We're just gonna get all these caps off. I think I'm going to pull the crank out first, and then I'll get the rest of the rods and pistons out, just because of how difficult this looks like it's going to be. It's easier to get the... I can't even tell the condition of the bearings yet. All right, let's see if we can get this crank out of here. Well, all the rod bearings show signs of damage. I know they look disgusting. Everything looks disgusting. But they all show signs of oil starvation, and I wonder why. This is the main reason that crank wouldn't turn. These main bearings they're not spun, so I think the block is going to be okay. It's just going to take a lot of cleaning. I'm just going to... Man, I don't even know what I'm going to do to clean this block. I might soak it in some solvent. I really can't put this stuff in the parts washer because it will just totally clog that thing up. The crank is pretty well grooved too, especially on that main. That's the worst one. That was the thrust bearing. I sprayed this down with some brake clean the best I could, and I mean, I don't think there's enough brake clean in St. Louis County to get this engine clean. I really don't think anyone changed the oil in that engine ever. Like, ever. I don't think that engine could have held more than 2 or 3 quarts of oil, and I think it's supposed to hold like 7 or 8. That was absolutely one of the most disgusting teardowns I've done in the last 3 or 4 years. I sliced my thumb open, which is just what I wanted to do. Not a lot of fun, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know I got a lot of good parts to sell. I just have a few days of cleanup ahead of me. The shop is like absolutely annihilated. If you'd like to buy parts off of this engine or off of my other ML diesels and engine, that'd be great. I'm going to leave my email in the video description, and like always, I love all the compliments, all the comments, all the suggestions, and even the criticism. I love it all, and I'll catch you on the next one.